Okay, so before we even get to the story, one thing that I like to do is to read the questions first. And this especially goes for cold reads, but it also goes for testing. So anytime we have to do any kind of testing, whether that's NWEA testing or iLearn, I really like this strategy because sometimes when the passages get really, really long, it's really hard for us to stay focused and read all of it. But if we know what the questions are before we go into the story, sometimes we can find the answers to our questions without having to read the entire story. Now, of course, as a reading teacher, I want you to read the entire story. But this is a good strategy just to double check our answers and just make sure that we know what we're looking for as we're reading. So I'm going to go ahead and read through the questions first. So the first question just says Amy and Joel hadn't seen their mother in, and it looks like a time amount. Which of the following sentences best describes the role Amy played in her family while her mother was away? So we're going to figure out what Amy does for her family. Notice I'm not reading the answers because I don't need that yet. I just want to know what the questions are. Read the following sentence from the passage. And now, as they waited at the airport, time seemed to stand still. What does the line, time seemed to stand still, help the reader to understand? Okay, so there's some context there. Read the following sentence. In the blur of movement, Sergeant Green found her family. In this sentence, the word blur means, well, that one I could answer. I guess now I wouldn't have to read the text, but I still would like to. The primary purpose of this passage is to describe what? So we're looking for why the story was written. At the beginning of the story, how were the people at the airport honoring the soldiers coming home? It also says to make sure to use a complete sentence. Okay, so how they're honoring soldiers. Now we know that it has to do with soldiers. How might you describe how Amy, Joel, and their dad felt while waiting at the airport? To use evidence from the text to support your answer. Okay, we're looking for feelings. The question below is an incomplete sentence. Choose the word that best. I don't need to know this right now. We can wait on that one because that one all just has to do with context. So that's where we're at with that. Now I've got an idea of what this story is about and some questions I'm going to be looking for. So now I'm actually ready to dig into the text. So we're going to go to the next page and do that.